Go ahead and get your little fun drink and let's get right into this video. Today we're talking about the habits that keep us stuck mentally, physically, and financially, and let's just go ahead and chat about it. Of course, all of these opinions are my own, but I would be interested to know if you agree with these, if you don't agree with these, or if there's any that you would add. So let's go ahead and get into habit number one. Actually, before we get into habit number one, let's backtrack a little bit. I don't think that people are stuck because they have a lack of potential. In fact, I truly believe that we all have so much potential within us, whether we realize it or not. But I truly do feel like we begin to feel stuck when we either A, do not follow through on the habits, the healthy habits that we should, or we begin to feel comfortable in the habits that we currently have. So instead of striving for something new, striving for something different, we feel very comfortable in what's already familiar, what's already our norm, and then thus feeling stuck. And I'm saying this as somebody who's had to look at her life as well and kind of determine or figure out which habits of mine were allowing me to get close to the goals that I had versus which habits of mine were preventing me from getting to where I wanted to be, which ones were making me more comfortable. I'm 28 now, and I feel like in my early 20s, from 20 to 25, I was very like boom, boom, boom. Nobody could tell me nothing. My goals were set. My habits were like perfect, and not perfect, but my habits were like on point. And I was always doing the thing that would get me to where I want to be. I don't know what it is about my late 20s, but I do feel like I feel stuck more because I'm like not stuck in the sense of like, what am I doing with my life? Like I'm almost 30 type of way. Not really like that, but more so I know exactly what I want, but the habits to get me there or the things I need to do to get me there are a little bit harder to stay consistent with. So if you're anyone in that space as well, then this video is for you. And of course, feeling stuck like that is going to impact you mentally, physically, emotionally. And a lot of times these aren't even the most extreme habits. They're just the simple everyday ones. So let's go ahead and get into habit number one, and so that we can get a little bit more unstuck and really reach our full potential. So habit number one that is keeping you stuck is avoiding discomfort. This can apply to so many areas. If you think about the areas we're talking in, mentally, physically, socially, avoiding discomfort is something that is going to keep you stuck. Think about wanting to start content creation or posting videos on YouTube, but not wanting to look stupid or feel silly. Like that discomfort that you're experiencing is going to keep you stuck and prevent you from reaching your goals. Or not going to the gym because it stretches you outside of what you feel comfortable with. Avoiding discomfort is not going to get you towards your physical or your fitness goals. Same thing with finances. Avoiding checking your bank account because it might make you a little bit uncomfortable. Like avoiding that discomfort is definitely not going to get you towards your financial goals. This applies to so many areas. Even think about socially wanting to meet new friends. It can be very uncomfortable to put yourself in a new situation or go out to meet new people, but if you avoid discomfort, you're not going to meet the people that you want to meet, or you're not going to be that social person that you want to be. So avoiding discomfort is like one habit. I'm not going to say the number one habit, but it's definitely one of the habits that can keep us stuck and prevent us from reaching whatever goal we have or whatever like potential that we have in that space. So I feel like these are all pretty like small things. As you can see, they're nothing drastic, but they do add up over time, thus having us feel stuck for a longer period of time. The second habit is being inconsistent, and girls, let me go ahead and take a sip. Being inconsistent is one, for some reason, is something that I'm experiencing, especially now in my late 20s. Like for example, I'm gonna keep using like content creation and fitness as examples because we are talking about mindset, movement, like your fitness goals and then your money, financial goals. But for me, I was very consistent in like my content journey, my social media journey from the early like 2020 all the way through like, I don't even know, the past like couple of years. And during that time, I was so consistent and I really saw the fruits of my labor. That's like partnering with Gymshark, partnering with Women's Best, partnering with Forever 21, PLT, Fashion Nova, going to brand events, like really experiencing all of the things, all of the rewards that you would hope to have when you're consistent in your craft. And I had no problem doing that. I just made it a part of life. But now in my later adulthoods, mind you, I went to grad school for 2 years during this time. So like, I feel like I do have to give myself grace because you cannot be consistent in everything all the time. But I feel like I've been a little bit less consistent by starting and stopping and starting and stopping, that it doesn't actually get me to where I want to be. And so I keep feeling stuck when it comes to like the content creation space. That's just a personal example for me, but this can apply to so many other areas as well. Think about your gym routine or your fitness routine. You say you want to go to the gym 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Maybe one week you do go all 3 times, but then the next week you go once, and then the third week maybe you go twice, but then you don't go at all for like 3 weeks. And it's like that starting, stopping, or that inconsistency is keeping you stuck. And although we're making strides and we're making effort, which definitely needs to be celebrated because that's a huge win and none of us are perfect, the reality of it is the more inconsistent that we are, the more we're going to feel stuck because we're not allowing ourselves to get to the end of something. We keep stopping in between and starting over before we could see the fruits of the work that we've been putting in. This next habit that might be keeping you stuck financially is emotional spending / living. This is where you're like, I had a hard day, I need to treat myself, or I'm bored, let me go walk around the shops, Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, goods. Let me see what they have in store. It's not like that emotional spending. I mean, it's not that intentional spending. It's more of that emotional spending. And that can definitely keep us stuck in our financial goals. I can go on and on and on and on and on about things I had to change to make sure that I was living a lot more intentionally by, you know, kind of filtering a little bit what is important to me, what I value versus like what I don't value anymore. And that is something that helps me be a more intentional spender. But this habit of emotional spending slash living is definitely one that can keep you stuck financially. And it's a hard one to break. It takes a lot of mindset work as well, because it's not just a quick decision. Although if you can change it quickly, that's great. But it does take a lot of work and practice to get out of that emotional spending mind. So I would definitely say that this is an example of a financial habit that can keep you stuck or preventing you from reaching your financial goals. Again, I could talk about this a lot because I've learned a lot over the last 2 years about personal finance, and I love it. I love talking about it. So let me know if you guys would want something like that. Just feel free to let me know in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get to the next habit. Let's be honest about this one. This next habit is consuming more than you are creating. This is a huge habit that is going to keep you stuck, and this can go for anything in life. I will use a content example as well, but like, let's say that you are a creative or someone who wants to get into the creative space, but you're spending a majority of your time scrolling and observing everybody else's life or what they have going on than actively working to create your own. That is something that is going to keep you stuck. It's like, maybe it does give you that inspiration or you do get some ideas from it, but then nothing happens from that. Like, you don't use that to then like create your own thing. I feel like that's just a cycle of consuming without creating, or consuming more than you're doing. And that definitely is going to make you feel stuck, because it's like, why can't I do X, Y, and Z like they can? Or why don't my videos turn out like that? Or why don't people engage with my stuff? It just keeps you in a space of like low vibration. Honestly, it's like a low vibrational space, and we want to get out of that. And I feel like the only way to really get out of that is, yes, you can use social media or other people's platforms for inspo, but truly spend the time to truly sit with yourself and think about like, what is it that you want to create, and spend more time doing that than consuming. So just, yeah, I'll leave that right there. But yeah, I think that's just like a big lesson that I had to learn as well, because like, just by planning or preparing or consuming like makes you feel like you did something when no action was actually done. So it feels productive without actually having done anything. So that's definitely a habit that we need to break to make us feel a little bit more unstuck. So this last habit is not taking yourself seriously. This is like when you say you're going to do something and you're not going to do it, or when you base all of your decisions based off of how you feel rather than like what you said you were going to do. It's like, why do we do things that we promise to other people, or when we have a job, we show up on time, but when we promise things to ourselves, like, we don't treat it with that same level of urgency. Like, we don't take it that seriously. And I don't know what it is about that, but that definitely keeps us stuck, because if you don't do the things that you said you were going to do, imagine how are you going to get to where you want to be in life, right? So this is a really big habit that needs fixing to get us unstuck. It takes a lot of realization too, because it's like, how do you expect your life to change when you are not doing the things to change your life? It's like, what is that going to bring, you know? So it's like definitely a learning experience. I truly feel like those are some of the habits that really keep us stuck. And I just think that bringing awareness to it, or at least like being mindful of it, is the first step in trying to change these habits. Because once you notice these patterns in your life, then you can work to change them. Like, you have to notice it first before you can do anything about it. So the noticing piece is gone. Now there's no excuse not to change the habits now that we're aware of them. I've expressed this before and I'll continue to express it. I'm a big firm believer that these habits that need to be changed don't have to be anything drastic. They can be small, because we know that small things can compound over time and get us to where we want to be. Like, small habits can yield big results. So don't think that you have to flip your entire life upside down. Don't think that you have to like change everything about your money or your movement or your mindset. Like, you will be okay. Like, just pick one thing and slowly start to commit to that and change that every single day, rather than like trying to change everything all at one time. So anywho, if you're feeling like you've been stuck lately, I would recommend looking at your habits first and really trying to determine what are the ones that are keeping you where you are. Look at what you're currently doing, see new ones that you might want to adopt to get you to where you want to be. I believe in you, girlies. 2026 is your year. No one can tell you nothing, but you have to decide that you're going to make the change. If you resonated with this video, feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in my next one.